gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Dennis Chang, and as Deputy Chief of Protocol, it's my pleasure to welcome all of you to the State Department's George C. Marshall Conference Center for the swearing in of Pamela White to be the next United States Ambassador to the Republic of the Gambia. We are very privileged to have the Secretary of State, the Honorable Hillary Rodham Clinton, officiating our ceremony this afternoon. We're also very pleased to have Pamela's family joining us for this wonderful occasion, and they include her husband Steve, her parents Patrick and Muriel, their children Christopher, Patrick, and Sarah, Pamela's sister Sandra, as well as her college roommate Cindy Watson. Special guest. I'd also like to offer a very warm welcome to His Excellency Alio Goum, the Ambassador from Gambia to the United States, as well as Counselor Ibrima Goum from the Embassy as well. Also, the Director of the Peace Corps, the Honorable Aaron Williams, and the Honorable Rajiv Shah, the Administrator of USAID. Please join me in giving a very warm welcome to all of our special guests. We will begin the ceremony this afternoon with remarks by the Secretary of State, followed by the administration of the oath of office, the signing of the ambassador's appointment papers, remarks from our newest ambassador, as well as closing remarks by the administrator. After the ambassador's remarks and after the administrator's remarks, we will invite all of our guests who can personally congratulate the ambassador and her husband. It is now my great honor to present the Secretary of State.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to the Marshall Center, and especially for me, this is a great moment. I am delighted to have the honor of swearing in Pamela White as the next U.S. Ambassador to the Gambia. And I cannot imagine anyone better suited to represent the United States in its relationship with the Gambia, or to help that country make a good future for itself, than our soon-to-be ambassador. And I join in welcoming Pamela's family and her friends. We are very proud of your daughter. And so we want to really welcome and thank for producing her, Patrick and Muriel Murphy, because truly without you, we would not be here today. And in addition to her sister Sandy and her college roommate, which I think is always a good sign, they're friends over so many years, we're so pleased that her husband Steve, who works at our embassy in Monrovia, is here. We're glad that the ambassador let you come for this. And Sarah, Patrick, and Christopher. Now Chris, who is right there, just finished a 3-year stint, Aaron, as a Peace Corps volunteer in Senegal. Where his father had served as a doctor many years before. So
we've had a bad sign.
No, because we persevere through everything. So it's wonderful to see the family tradition continuing. And indeed, we welcome the ambassador and counselor from the embassy. We are delighted that you could be here. And Dr. Raj Shah, or as Pamela says, her former boss, the administrator of USAID, and of course Aaron Williams, the director of the Peace Corps, and a former AID person himself. Now some of you may wonder how a girl from Auburn, Maine, came to be one of the leading Africanists in the United States Foreign Service. Well, I personally think it was the Maine winters, but Pam says no.
That helped.
It was the Peace Corps. And when Peace Corps recruiters visited her high school, she was sold on the mission. And as soon as she finished college, she went off to the Cameroons. And she never looked back. She went on to serve USAID in so many places: Burkina Faso, Senegal, Haiti, Egypt, South Africa, Mali, Tanzania, and Liberia. And although we did drag her back to Washington in 1999, she kept her ties to Africa, coordinating the delivery of food to famine-stricken Ethiopia and Eritrea, helping develop an aid strategy for Uganda, and overseeing the expansion of USAID programs in Sudan and Congo. Everyone who knows Pam knows her heart is in Africa. And she has agreed to serve, even though Steve's got some time left in Monrovia, because this is really a mutual commitment that the two of them have not only demonstrated, but embraced. Now, Pam White stands out for her track record of success in every position she's held. She's been especially focused on women and girls in developing countries and how to help them make tangible gains in their own lives. She also, and I love this about her, has been totally focused on getting the best result from every dollar spent on development. She knows that every one of us who have the privilege of serving at the State Department or USAID, especially in the field, has to be a steward of America's taxpayers' dollars. And Pamela is somebody who demands accountability and gets results. She's known also for unsinkable optimism, compassion, and being outspoken. I love this story about her. She was serving in Mali and visited a community literally in the middle of the Sahara Desert at a time when there was a terrible drought ravaging people from Ethiopia to Senegal. And she agreed that USAID would fund a project to buy new water pumps and repair irrigation ditches. And all the villagers from this one village gathered on the banks of the Niger River to hear her speak. And she noticed something. All the men and boys were sitting shaded from the sun, in tents, on beautiful mats, woven and put up by women. All the women were sitting in the hot sun. And Pam told them that she would fund the project, but when she returned, the women and girls had to be under tents as well. And it is no wonder that a friend of hers from Mali once said, Pamela does not keep her mouth in her pocket. And it's a good thing, too, because guess what? When she came back to see the completed project, not only were the women sitting under the tents, they had been given land to cultivate, they were using the money they earned to buy supplies for the town's health clinic. And the road running through the town is now named after Pamela White. Now, Pam is also a part of my own experience. I first met her in South Africa, seemingly 100 years ago, when I was First Lady. She took Chelsea and me to a township in Cape Town where USAID was helping women who were single heads of households build their own homes on what had been nothing but a patch of dust. They pooled their money, they pooled their labor, and they built 18 houses. Their efforts were so inspiring that I brought my husband back the following year to see what they had accomplished. By then there were more than 100 homes, a nursery, a play area for children, a neighborhood center. I went back 2 years ago, and now I saw the second community that these women were building for themselves. And I got Johnny Carson, our assistant secretary, and everybody with me to help build while we were there. So we were following Pam's model. Pam is probably best known for her work in Tanzania, where a global health campaign managed to virtually eliminate malaria from the island of Zanzibar. The prevalence of malaria was 38% in 2005. Today it's down to 1%. Thanks in part to an information campaign that, guess what, paid attention to local norms, actually listened to people. I mean, how unique. I met Pam again in Liberia, where she was working on fighting malaria. Instead of tapping a Western communications firm to persuade people to sleep under mosquito nets, she enlisted the help of a local tribal leader, Chief Zanzan. And Chief Zanzan declared that sleeping under a net gave him special powers, an argument that has proved very convincing. So given Pam's track record, President Obama and I are eager to have her helping to improve and deepen our relationship with the government and people of the Gambia. We have a strong foundation to build on. Our two countries have mutual respect for each other, share deep concerns for human rights, support United Nations efforts on counterterrorism, conflict diamonds, and so much else. And we also, and I want to tell the ambassador, we also deeply admire the progress that your country has made in immunization, school attendance, and other key development challenges. Now, we hope and expect that Pam will work with you to help make similar progress in other areas, including democratic reform and institution building, which has proven essential to maintaining the gains that you have worked so hard to achieve. And we want to make sure that we give you all the help you need on not only counter narcotics, but against human trafficking and your contributions to global peacekeeping. Now, there's one more reason that I am very happy to be here, and that is not only about Pam, because Pam is a superb Foreign Service officer, but it is rare that a Foreign Service officer who has spent his or her career entirely in USAID would be given the opportunity to be an ambassador. And I determined to change that. And I am looking for more candidates. We have an excellent woman ambassador in Paraguay, who is also a USAID Foreign Service Development Specialist. We have Pam, but we don't have many more. And we need more. And part of the whole idea behind our quadrennial diplomacy and development review is to work more closely together to maximize the impact and the results that we each get, but that we cannot leverage unless we are working together. And Pam is a perfect example of that. You know, it's rare when I go to a country that the USAID mission director is invited by the president of the country to attend the meeting that I have in the country. That happened in Liberia. It was not only our excellent ambassador, it was also Pam. That's what I want to see everywhere. And working under Chief of Mission Authority, and now Pam will bring her insight as an AID expert to be an ambassador, to be able to implement this idea on the ground in one country, but knowing Pam, it will spread everywhere. So I wish you well. I thank your family for standing with you and behind you and by your side. And I'm about to swear you in. So if you will, raise your right hand, and put your other hand on the Bible and repeat after me. I, Pamela Ann White,
I, Pamela Ann White,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United
the
States
Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties of the office
discharge the duties of the office
on which I am about to enter.
of which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Because I have to go meet with the president, but Pam is going to...
Can you imagine?
Yeah, I know. Pam is going to sign her appointment papers, and then she will address you. And thank you all for coming to celebrate this great occasion.
Okay, guys, help me out here. Where am I? There's one. Is that it?
Yep, you're done.
Do they all have to call me ambassador now?